Welcome, Internet Nomad. This is my own game tales on what remains of Edith Finch. This game was made by the developer Giant Sparrow. The game came to Steam in 2017. I played the game on my Steam Deck. I remember seeing this game on X and Reddit. It's one of those narrative classics that I missed out on. I finally gave it a play, and I think this one is truly a classic. The game is a collection of stories about the Finch family. The gameplay involves exploring the family house while learning about each member and their tragic end. I love the short story nature of the game. These deaths are pieces in a bigger picture that the game guides you to finish. Once you connect everything, you realize that the plot is bigger than you. You play as the titular character Edith. Edith is named after her great-grandmother. In the game, the great-grandmother is referred to as Edie. The house is so much fun to explore. Before entering a room from a hidden passage, the game has these windows in each door, so you can see what it's like before entering. All the doors are sealed, but you have a key to the secret path throughout the house. Each room belongs to a family member. After more tragedies occur, the doors are locked off for a story reason I won't spoil yet. Each room has a detailed file on that family member's death. You get to play this mini-game type thing on their death day. As you complete those, the family tree gets filled out. Edith wants to know why she's the only one alive. The game centers around the curse that affects every family member. Edith explores the house to find out more about her relatives. This game gets really creative with the different types of gameplay for each family member. Each story differs in playstyle. All of them keep the first-person perspective. The story revolves around learning about the family until you fill out the entire family tree. I highly recommend this game before I go into spoilers. I'm going to talk about each death that stuck out to me. Okay, spoilers. Leave now. Dawn dies in 2016, leading to Edith inheriting the family house. This is how the game starts. The Finches came to America to escape this curse. Unfortunately, the first house was sunken due to a 40-foot wave. Edie begins the cemetery and rebuilds the house. So basically, you start the game with a key, but it doesn't unlock the front door. Exploring the house, you find out it unlocks a secret passage through each family member's room. In their room is a file about their death. The first one I played involved a family member, Molly, having this dream where she was an owl looking for prey, and then a snake. I think she ends up dying from eating toothpaste and holly berries. Her whole dream of being hungry led to her untimely demise. This happened because Molly was sent to bed without dinner. She ended up eating some poisonous stuff. Another death that left a mark on me is Barbara Finch. Instead of a file, the thing that triggers the scene is a comic book. The graphics look like a moving comic book. Barbara Finch was a child star. She was known for her signature scream. Rick tried to help her find it again after years of being out of the spotlight. Rick decides to scare her in order to get the scream back. This comic records her unexpected death. Obviously, it's not entirely true. The writer of the comic obviously took creative liberties with the story. What happened, the player doesn't really know. The prime suspect is her boyfriend at the time, Rick. The comic says that the monsters at the convention they were preparing for came and killed her. The comic ends with her ear in the music box. One family member, Gregory, drowns in the bathtub. In this scenario, you play as a toy frog that can jump and cause the tub to overflow, leading to the child's death. Another death, which is incredibly short, is about one family member, Walter, who, while living in solitude, decides to leave his room and is immediately killed by a train. Walter is deeply impacted by Barbara's death. Edie gives him food and other supplies as he lives remotely. The achievements are the main reason people might want to replay the game. I decided not to care about the achievements. While climbing up the house, Edith reveals she is pregnant, but determined to see the rest, she presses on. The game is all about family history. She's making a book for her child so he would know the history of the Finches. The reason the doors are sealed is because Dawn sealed them. She believes that if her children don't know how their family members died, then the curse won't affect them. Lewis's death occurred after living with a dull job. His therapist encouraged his own fantasy world. Lewis dies from chop suey. After the death of Lewis, Dawn believes it's time to leave the house behind to save her remaining children from the same fate. Edie refuses to leave the house. Edie dies the next day due to alcohol and prescription meds. I won't spoil all the deaths. The game's really engaging. At the end of the game, it's revealed that Edith Finch died in childbirth, and her son Christopher is reading the book that she made about the family. Chris is seen placing flowers on his mother's grave. I feel like this game is a one and done for me personally. Usually games like these encourage multiple playthroughs through things like choices or hidden collectibles. I feel like I've seen everything I wanted to with my first playthrough. Maybe one day I'll go on and play it again. That's my own game tale on what remains of Edith Finch.